What is going on, everybody? We're back with another CCW review. I am Nick.
And I am Joe.
He is miserable. And we are here.
I don't like this Raw.
We are
They're
here.
taking a lap for nothing.
We are here to talk about Monday Night Raw on 4/20 of 2026. The Raw after WrestleMania, which, listen, as far as Raws after WrestleMania go, there's one thing that didn't happen that I was absolutely thrilled with. The crowd wasn't stupid the entire night. They got loud a couple times.
The first part of the show was really, really good.
I liked it all the way up until the last 10 minutes. The last 10 minutes, I was just like, meh. And even then, I liked how the last 10 minutes actually ended. But the first 8 minutes of said 10 minutes was not fun for me. But we'll get there. We'll get there. We start off with the most pointless opening segment in Raw in a long time. And the good news is it just didn't last very long. Obafemi comes out, and I'm like, oh, he's going to challenge Roman or something. We're going to get something cool.
Oh, that would have been cool.
And
you can't have that.
And he comes out, and he stands in the ring, and every time he goes to talk, the crowd starts chanting. The crowd's loud as hell, which I did like. I was like, this is cool. He finally talks, and all he says is, the ruler has arrived. And then he dropped the mic, and then I was like, the fuck was this?
And commercial.
This is the only time I will be overly disappointed for a while. I was worried, to be honest, starting off, because I was like, oh no. They're about to pull an AEW. Oh, we didn't go straight to commercial. Right after that, we get a Kabuki Warriors vignette. And
oh yeah, but it's the same thing.
I was like, why is Asuka so mad at Rhea still? Like, this has been going on for 3.5, 4 months. Like, at this point, she ain't even on your show anymore, lady. Let it go.
She's corrupting her student.
From another show?
Sure.
Yeah, no.
She just now is on another show.
Well, she's been on the other show for like a month. She's only coming back tonight for this stupid match. And to say
it was stupid.
And to say bye to Io again, because they've already did that.
Yeah, there was a lot of retread.
Anyways, Asuka's still not happy with Rhea, and no one's ever ready for Asuka, even though everyone has beaten Asuka at this point.
Yeah, they beat her like a drum. They've taken everything that's special about her away.
We get match 1, Io Sky and Rhea Ripley versus Kabuki Warriors. And actually, this is where the commercial break comes in. After Rhea and Io come out, they go to commercial break. They come back.
Kabuki Warriors are already in the ring.
Well, they're almost to the ring.
They're on the apron doing their little dance thing.
But I wrote in my notes, I just want to see how long we get into the first match before we get a commercial break. And the match bell rung at 8:17 Eastern. That's my time, our time. 8:17 Eastern. At 8:21, the first commercial break happened. If you do the math, it's 4 minutes. We made it 4 minutes into the match before the commercial break started. The commercial break started at 8:21 and ended at 8:25. We had just as much commercial in the first match as the first match.
Yep.
To start off. It's ridiculous. Anyways.
Yep. Beat that dead horse.
Early on in the match, Grave is going off about something, about cats bringing you a dead mouse and it sucks, but its heart is in the right place. And my exact words were out loud to the computer that I watched all this on. Graves, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, I ignored him. I didn't even hear any of that.
And Cole even started laughing, and he's like, are you okay? And Graves was like, look, Cole, we've been working a lot the last few days, and I'm pretty tired. I was like, that's fantastic.
Really? Because where were you at WrestleMania, bro? Because we had to listen to Wade Barrett for 2 nights.
He might have been doing the...
He's probably doing AAA.
AAA stuff. Um, Asuka, listen, this match for most of like for the start of it when it was Asuka and Io, it was not very entertaining for me. But once or not Asuka, I'm sorry, it was Io and Kyrie that started the match off. And it wasn't very entertaining to me. It didn't really pick up until both of them tagged in Rhea and Asuka, who have much
and they were
better
beating the
chemistry
shit out of each other.
And they were beating the piss out of each other, dude. Like and Rhea hit so Asuka was kicking the shit out of her, and then once Rhea hit the mat, Rhea popped up with a capoeira kick into fucking Asuka's dome piece that was amazing. Eventually Kyrie hit an insane elbow drop off the top onto Rhea outside, which was fun. And then shortly thereafter, we got an EO self-point spot to irritate me, as normal.
Glad that you're making reference of it so I don't have to anymore.
My favorite moment of the entire match was Rhea hitting the Razor's Edge, and in the process of setting it up, Io was on the top rope pointing or waving at her, which made me laugh.
Yeah.
So... And I'm annoyed that we have to talk about this. For what has to be like the fourth week in a row.
It's the third.
Actually, I think that I don't think it happened last week because I don't think she wrestled last week. I could be wrong. But 3 straight times of her wrestling on Monday Night Raw. Io has gone for the dive to the outside. And has
a live dive.
has landed on her head.
Dude, this one was the scariest looking one of all.
And I am to the point where we need to save Io from herself, guys. Like, listen, I have always been the type of person to say, let wrestlers do what they do. They're the ones putting their bodies at risk for us. But no one has landed on their head 3 times in a row from the same move, to my knowledge. And now I'm like, maybe she specifically should just not do this move because it's not work. Now this time though, I'm not gonna lie. This time I did not see a foot clip to ropes. It looked like she was just diving downward because she's a small person. And
I don't know if it's how Kyrie caught her, and the way she caught her legs, which made Io's head dive towards the concrete.
Either way, I think she just needs to start jumping over the top or something and flipping. Like she needs to stop diving to the floor head first. It's not working out.
Yeah.
One of these times
really
she's not going to get back up.
I thought it was this time. She looked like it was not good.
No. But she jumped right.
It looked like it hurt. She looked like she was, like she.
We say that, but she still jumped right the fuck back up and went inside and hit her moonsault for the win.
Yeah, she finished the match. But she's a tough chick. You should see some of the shit she did in Lucha Underground.
Yeah.
Crazy shit.
Well, I mean that's cool and all, but
yeah, there comes a time where you got to stop trying to headbutt the floor.
Yeah, it's getting scary out there. It's getting scary. They get the win, and then we go backstage. Penta's talking to Pierce. Javon shows up, and he's like, "You have to admit, Penta, at one point last night I was the champ." And Penta was like, "I mean, okay, but I am the champ, and I'm not going anywhere." And one day
segment, I hated Javon Evans in this segment. It made him look bad.
Well, there's a reason. He actually has a history with Ethan, so I understand why he's.
Yes, but he was talking to Penta before Ethan got there, and the stuff with Ethan I understand, but kind of the way he came across when he was talking to Penta was stupid.
I didn't feel that way, but but yeah, he was basically like he basically wants a title shot, and Penta's like one day, just not right now. And Ethan shows up, And I popped because I was like, "Yay, Ethan!"
Yeah, Ethan Page.
And listen, this was the most AEW coded Raw in the history of Raw. All right, I just want you guys to know that almost everyone I felt like that was on this show, in some capacity.
Yeah, you were one Jade Cargill short of a AEW bingo.
Right. So yeah, Ethan shows up, and he's now on Raw full time. Uh, he says
Good stuff.
he says he wants an IC title shot, except he's not going to need a second chance. And Javon was like, "Look, you ain't taking my spot."
He's totally taking his spot.
And yeah, Pierce is like, "All right, I guess we'll have this match tonight."
Well, maybe. the match later brings another challenger forward.
Right. Then we get an in-ring segment. Punk comes out, and he said, he's had a lot of loss lately. MMA, the dude that trained him in MMA, then Larry died, and then there were some WWE family members, behind the scenes guys that, a few of them that passed away recently. And he was like, what I do is easy. He said, it's these guys that do all the hard work and grind and make sure that we look better on TV.
Away from their families, etc., and so forth.
He said losing the people around him has hurt, has stung a bit more than losing the title. He thanked the fans for helping him process all this grief over the time that it's been happening. And then he goes on to say basically he wasn't supposed to be here, but the championship opportunity just basically dropped in his lap and he took it, and he got the title that way. He said he may have lost last night, but he's got a smile because he's still the best in the world. He came out and proved it, which, Punk, you lost. He said it wasn't his night, but he isn't going to cry about it. He said he's going to stay ready because you never know when a championship opportunity is going to fall out of the sky. Cody Rhodes' music hits. He is beat up and gimping to the ring. He is looking rough.
Yeah, he's on that AEW bingo card.
Yeah, he is. With Punk, actually. Punk.
Yeah, it's two squares next to each other.
Cody gets to the ring. It was funny as hell seeing Punk do the whoa-oh thing right next to Cody.
Yeah.
Cody expected Punk to freak out, I guess, over losing.
Yeah, he was there for the first. Was he there for Brawl Out?
I don't know if he was there, dude. So it's weird. I don't remember them ever overlapping in AEW, but they did.
It was very brief. It wasn't long.
It would have had to have been 2 weeks because, like, when I started watching, Cody was pretty much out the door, or at least it felt that way.
I'm sure there was overlap.
Well, there was. I know for a fact there was overlap.
But I can't remember how long.
I've looked it up before. It doesn't feel like it because they never interacted with each other.
Well, they did. They just didn't do it on TV.
Well, that's what I'm saying. What's on TV is what matters when I'm watching.
Well, they interacted like after the shows and stuff.
So, Cody expected Punk to freak out for some reason. He said that he
expected him to cuss at a press conference and eat a muffin.
Apparently. He said that, he's the one that's standing and feeling like a loser, even though he's still the champ. And Punk's like, are you saying I should feel like the loser?
Yeah. He's like, what the fuck's going on here? And he had to go, relax, people, we're friends.
Yeah. He's like, I don't feel like a loser. And Punk said that, of course you feel like, you've been through it. He's like, you had to fight a friend. I hate the guy that I fought.
He's like, that was easy to punch him in his stupid face.
Yeah. He was like, but you fought a friend. That's the real challenge. He said, you feel this way because, heavy's the head that wears the crown. He's like, you keep being a champ, you keep winning. He's like, and me, I just got to stay ready. And he stares at Cody's championship as he's making the end of this conversation. And he's like, you never know when an opportunity is going to fall out of the sky. And he walks out, and as he makes it halfway down the ramp, Cody gets on the mic and says, hey, Punk, just say when.
Right.
And I loved the seeds being planted here because this was originally talked about as this was going to be the main
Mania
event
this year.
Mania. Yep.
You know what's fun? You know what the funniest part of this whole thing was?
What's that?
When he called Roman Reigns' necklace a string of sweet peppers.
Yeah. But one of the things that I loved about this is like I feel like this can be the way they push Cody heel is keep putting him up against people that he thinks are his friends.
Yep.
And it feeling like these people keep betraying him. Like that would be a
so
good
he feels
way.
all alone and he feels like
Yes.
isolated.
I feel like that would be a great way to turn Cody heel, and it would actually give him a reason to do so other than just, hey, I feel like being a dick and the crowd sucks, which is usually how it goes.
Right? Well, yeah, the best heels are always the ones who are justified in their actions.
In wrestling, folks, my favorite villains of all time are just psychopaths. All right, look. They just do things because they want to.
It just reminds me of The Dark Knight. Some people just want to see the forest burn.
Absolutely. We get a backstage vignette of Finn Balor saying that last night the demon put Dom down, but he's not done with the Judgment Day, as he shouldn't be. He expected this from Dom. He expected the betrayal from Dom, but not JD. He helped JD grow from the beginning. When he needed someone he knew would have his back, it was going to be JD, but it turns out it wasn't. JD did turn his back on him, so tonight he takes out the other one. Then we get match 2, Ethan Page versus Javon Evans. Honestly, it's a pretty well wrestled match mostly throughout.
Yeah, it was fine. It wasn't anything super special, but it wasn't bad at all.
Towards the end, Rusev causes a distraction on Javon. Javon decides to put his focus on Rusev and attacks him and takes him out. He goes in the ring after Ethan had got back in the ring. Ethan hits the twisted grin, which is basically
another person doing a fucking cutter.
A stone cold cutter.
Yeah, it's a cutter.
Well, that's why I call it the Stone Cold Cutter, because he does it like he's doing a Stone Cold Stunner, but then he just does a cutter instead. It's really weird.
It's very diamond. It's very diamond cuttery to me.
Actually, it reminds me more of, if I'm being 100% honest, now that I'm thinking about it, it reminds me more of the Twist of Fate than anything.
Yeah, kind of, because he does like he kind of does like a twist.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
I like it, but I just wish...
There's too many people doing the fucking cutter, dude.
Look, there's too many people doing everything at this point. Too many people doing... listen, there's tons of moves out there. There's super kicks. There's a lot of people doing super kicks. A lot of people doing destroyers. A lot of people doing cutters. A lot of people doing power bombs. A lot of people do, like, collar and elbow tie-ups. Now I'm just being an asshole. But yes,
you are.
A lot of people do a lot of moves. I get it though.
Originality, people. Just originality. I get it. You want to move you can do to everybody. But I don't know. Just do whatever, I guess.
Post match, Rusev comes in and starts fucking Javon up. Penta's music hits. This is the most coded AEW coded section of the show, by the way. Penta's music hits.
It's a whole.
Other than Javon, everyone else was involved in AEW. Penta's music hits. He comes down and starts talking to Rusev, or starts taking it to Rusev. Not talking. There's not an L there. Taking it to Rusev. At which point he goes up on the top rope to do something. Ethan shows up behind him, pushes him off the top rope, which made me laugh. And then Rusev
locked him into the Accolade.
Yeah, Rusev locked him into the Accolade. Afterwards, he picked up the IC title and put it on his shoulder after shaking it off for some reason. Don't know what the shaking it off thing was.
He looked like a fucking insane person.
he's like, let me get this Penta dust off of it. It's disgusting. And then he stuck it on his shoulder and posed with it. We get an in-ring segment. Liv comes out with the Judgment Day, and I really hate that she comes out to this lame-ass song she's got now that we're going to have to hear every week that I'm really, like, listen, it is one of the top 5 worst theme songs maybe ever. But that could also just be because I think I hate it. It might not actually be ever, but it's definitely like one of the worst going right now.
She sings it to herself on the way as she's walking to the ring,
It is terrible.
which annoys me even more.
That doesn't bother me. A lot of people do that. Like Rhea sings the brutality song
Yes,
on her
but
way
her
down.
song is actually good.
Well, yes, but all I'm saying is Liv singing it doesn't bother me as she's walking out. Having to hear the song bothers me. And it's a terrible song. It's just wretched. Somebody out there loves that shit though because you suck. She annoyingly starts off with "Guess who's the greatest women's champion in the world of all time," and she carries that out for a while. She then goes on to thank her Judgment Day fam, and then she thanks Stephanie Vaquer. They beat the hell out of each other at Mania, and it reminded her why she wanted to do this all in the first place. And thankfully, Sol Ruka's music hit, and listen, I popped. Sol Ruka is like one of my, if not my favorite talent in NXT right now, currently. I feel like this is basically announcing she's going to be on Raw after she has this match with Zarya. I mean, we'll see. I'm not going to watch the match with Zarya because I don't watch NXT all like that. But one can hope. And why can I hope? Sol says Liv deserved all this. She's an inspiration. And Liv is like, hey, you shouldn't have interrupted, bitch. She said, you're no Liv Morgan, and you need to get out of my ring. And Sol's like, look, I didn't come to pick a fight, but I'm not going to back down from one. At this point, Pierce comes out, and he's like, hey, you guys are going to wrestle right now. Get a ref out in the ring. And my match of the night, Sol Ruka versus Liv Morgan.
It was fine.
Nah,
only
dude.
because of Soul.
This match was amazing.
I hate Liv Morgan, dude. They have made me hate that woman. And before she got hurt, she was one of my faves. But she has such go-away heat with me right now.
Yeah. Regardless of how much I hate somebody, if they're doing well, I don't care. They're doing well. And
no, Soul was doing well.
This match, Liv did fantastic too. They both did. They had insanely good chemistry together that I don't expect out of somebody, especially since Soul's not been on the main roster.
Well, that's because Soul did all of her normal spots, which was all the flippy stuff. She's a gymnast, so it was easy. That's easy stuff for them.
Right. But toward the end, Liv hit a code breaker on Soul when Soul was coming off the top. She goes for the Oblivion, but Ruka cartwheeled out of it, which was super dope. She then hit the Soul Snatcher. Liv rolled out of the ring to avoid being pinned. So then Sol Ruka did a cartwheel and a backflip outside of the ring to take out the other two ladies. Ruka then sent Liv back into the ring, at which point Zarya came out and took Ruka out while the ref's back was turned. At an 8 or 9 count, Ruka dove back in the ring just to get hit with the Oblivion. Liv gets the win. My problem with this match, it's a good way to have Sol lose because, they're setting up and trying to kind of also promote the match she's about to have with Zarya.
Yeah, she was heavily protected with the interference from everybody, and she got beat by the woman's champion, so you can't really have any shame in that.
But they had her sticking it to Liv most of this fucking match. So it actually made Liv look kind of bad, if I'm being honest. In terms of just...
Well, that's the point, because she needs all that help to win, which is how she beat Stephanie in the first place.
Right. Post-match, Liv was celebrating and started walking down the ramp holding up her title. Stephanie Vaquer's music hit. They have a tear down, apparently, because I can't write the letters. I didn't use the letter S in stare. They have a stare down. Stephanie's saying something. I can't read lips. I don't know what it was. But it looks like they're not done.
Which makes sense.
We get a Brock Lesnar tribute, which I thought... So this tonight kind of confused me because when the show came on, they had talked about Brock Lesnar, something happening with Brock Lesnar tonight, and it almost felt like they were advertising he was there, like maybe to announce he was retiring officially.
Yeah, that's very not Brock Lesnar, though.
No. But I thought, listen, again, there's still a part of me that's like he's going to come out, do the whole I'm officially retiring thing, and then Gunther's music's going to hit. Listen, I'm still trying to write this match in for Gunther, but it looks like it's not going to happen. So it got me thinking. It is crazy. This hits weird in the same way that, like, with it happening to Cena, hit weird, not in a bad way. Like, it's time for these guys to go, and I get that. I'm not heartbroken. I'm not sad. But it's weird. Like, when you're growing up and you watch wrestlers retire as you're growing up, they're people that started wrestling before you were really into it, before you were a fan. Some of them even before you were even alive.
Yeah.
But we're now getting to the point where the people we watched get into the business as teenagers and young adults, they're starting to retire, and now it feels weird.
Yeah, because we're old now.
Yeah. And what I want people to understand, regardless, like not regardless, but outside of the personal issues that Brock Lesnar has, whatever, for the last year and a half to 2 years, right? As a wrestler,
just say it, Janelle Grant allegations.
As a wrestler, I remember when Brock Lesnar first came in and how much of a freak and a beast it literally he felt like as a performer in terms of watching him. Like, he would come out and you'd be like, oh, he's about to fuck some people up, and he would. He came at, honestly, just a really good time as well. He got to work with people like Kurt Angle, a lot of the people. I mean,
Guerrero.
Yeah.
Just all those legends from that era.
Unfortunately, he left to go do the UFC thing because he was, I guess, bored of wrestling or some shit. Or he wanted.
No, he left because he hated the travel.
Right. I didn't know all the reasons. I just know he left.
Yeah, he hated the travel. He went to the NFL to try to catch on there. He didn't. Then he wrestled in Japan, and then he eventually went to UFC.
Well, when he came back to WWE, it never felt the same.
No, because he was a homogenized version of himself.
And they basically just turned him into this guy. He would come in and basically just German suplex people several times, and then
they took the fighter thing a little too seriously, and he became more of a brawler, fighter, thrower of people around instead of an actual wrestler.
Yeah. And it's a bummer because, again, it really was, like, if you want to see Brock Lesnar's, in my opinion, best matches, watch the championship matches, the world championship matches, unified, whatever it was, whichever one it was called when he was going
Undisputed.
Watch those matches from early in his career, and you can see why people like Joe, myself, would be more disappointed in what he became in the end, or honestly, not even in the end, about the middle of his career.
Yeah, the mid to late 2010s and on.
Like, he was amazing, and then he stopped being amazing, and then he became a shitty person. So, potentially shitty person. We'll see how all that turns out.
Yeah, alleged allegations.
Yeah.
But, more than likely that shit happened.
Oh, yeah, but yeah, as a wrestler,
the promoter, I blame the promoter.
Yeah, he dragged some people into some weird shit. Now, should people have been able to say no or stay away from shit like that? Absolutely.
Sure. But when you're dealing with powerful people, I can see how people get into some unfavorable situations.
Yeah. In-ring segment, the Vision come out, and the Vision being Heyman and the tag team champions.
Theory and Paul.
They come out, and Heyman said that at Mania, you expect the unexpected, and something happened yesterday that was so unexpected, but will live in his heart as well as everyone else's that watches wrestling today. And he was mad at the production team because at the beginning they did the then, now, forever, but Brock Lesnar was still in the now, and now that he's gone, he needs to be in the forever section. It was actually a really convincing fucking angry.
Yeah, he lost me completely, and this is where the show really started to go downhill for me.
He then said, however, for the now, he said, basically was congrats on Vision still having the tag championships, or still being the tag team champions, even though they never defended it.
Even though the belts weren't on the line.
And then he gives Logan Paul the mic, who the crowd was, listen, this was like damn near Dom level of booing. It was fantastic. They were pretty much drowning him out, but he was mad at IShowSpeed for the lost. I love that he's playing into these. He's sick of these YouTubers and streamers coming into our business thinking they can do what we do. Made me laugh.
He's the same. Yep, I hate it so much.
Heyman then thanks Gunther. He says that anytime Gunther's ready, he's good to pay up on whatever the thing is that he needs. He then brings out Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker looked pretty cool in a jacket inspired by his Faja.
It's just a leather jacket.
It's very specific though. Not every leather jacket looks the same. It's jacketist, Joe. It's jacketist. Dude, when did I lose my fucking hair tie again? Come on. Sorry. It's random. He says it's been 1 year since he took over as leader of the Vision, and listen, I didn't realize.
Dude, I didn't either. I was like, it's been a fucking year already?
I thought that was like middle of the year type shit. I didn't realize that was right after Mania. But it makes sense, because when I thought about it, I was like, well, Seth did defend at Mania, didn't he? If I remember correctly. Or he won at Mania. And then got jumped out. Anyways. Yeah. Apparently it's been a year. He loves his favorite thing about Mania was that Seth came so close, but then it just didn't work out. He said every day moving forward, he's going to be coming after Seth. At this point, Seth's music hits, but Seth shows up from behind. He takes out Braun and Logan, and then Theory catches him with a punch. The Street Profits music hit. They come out. They take out the tag champs. They fight into the crowd. At this point, Breaker gets in the ring, and apparently, the way it looked, Seth must have caught the back of his big-ass fucking dome in the process of hitting him in the back with the chair, because it looked like it was the back of his head that was bleeding. And this didn't look fake, because it was streaming down the side of his face and shit.
Yeah, he was really red too.
Yeah. Rollins goes to do he takes Breaker out with a super kick. He then goes for a curb stomp, but Breaker moves and then hits him with a spear. Breaker then picks his head up and he's screaming. He's like, look, I never needed your sorry ass. I'm going to ruin you, and everyone will remember you for the shell that you used to be.
Which was the part of this whole segment.
Yeah. He then hit him with one more spear, and that was it. And listen, it's weird to say this, but Breaker was the star of this fucking segment.
Yep.
Because, I mean, Seth did Seth things, but Seth didn't talk, so...
Right, Seth is putting him over, allowing him to look good. Right. The problem is these two chuckleheads that are with him.
Yeah, I honestly at this point just wish the Vision would disband. There's no point in it.
Yep.
But it is what it is. We get a random JD McDonough vignette where he's basically just mad because Finn was taking cues from Punk, and then he went on to start barking orders and irritating everyone. And it's like, all right, buddy. I mean, he was the leader. That's what leaders do. They bark orders.
No, he didn't feel like he was the leader.
Nah, he wasn't by the end of it. But JD McDonough versus Finn Balor is the most disappointing match of the night for me.
Yeah, it was much to do about nothing.
I know these two can wrestle far better than they did tonight. And it just kind of felt me.
It was just a means to set up the climax and post-match.
Right. Finn Balor attacks JD during JD's in-ring portion of his entrance, sending him to the outside. They fight into the crowd, make it back to the ring. JD's in charge. Crowd starts chanting bobblehead, which made me chuckle. Towards the end of the match, at the end of the match, technically, Balor hits the dropkick and the coup de grace for win. If I hear one of them say coup de grace on commentary one more fucking time.
Who said that?
I don't remember which one it was, but I definitely heard it, and it irritated me.
Yeah, that's weird.
Post-match, Dom came in and attacked Finn. Dom goes for the 619. Finn gets out of the way, takes him out. He then hits the dropkick and is about to hit the coup de grace, and JD pulled Dom out to save him.
We still have shenanigans between the three of them.
Balor stands tall at the end of it, and I'm sure we're going to end up at some point with another him versus Dom match for Dom to get a win back on him. Backstage, Jackie is with Gunther, and Gunther said he was proved he was right about everything with Seth. Gunther said that there is no him and Heyman. He just owes Heyman just owes him a favor, and that's pretty much between them. He said, however, you all should get used to me being world champ very soon. LA Knight shows up and says congrats. He also has his eyes on the world title. He said, the way I see it, you needed a 3-on-1 to win, and that's a big L in my book. And then he somehow tried to turn that into LA Knight. Look, it was a stretch. He pulled it off, but
it wasn't very smooth.
No, it wasn't. We find out that starting next week, Joe Hendry is also on Raw. And then at this point, I'm like, did anybody go to SmackDown?
We'll find out Friday.
No, we won't. I won't. But
well, the world will find out Friday, and we'll find out through clips and reels and news articles.
Right. Backstage, Rhea says she's got to go to SmackDown, and Io can handle things from here. Again.
I got to go to the other show. See you later, friend. Bye-bye.
I didn't catch what Liv said. It sounded like something like "see you soon" or some shit like that. But Rhea turned around and said she's looking forward to it. So I'm guessing they might try and listen. When is so? I looked up. Crown Jewel's usually not until like August when they do it. So that would require both of them being champs for a really long time if they're going to end up meeting each other at Crown Jewel.
Isn't August when fucking SummerSlam is usually?
I said sometime.
They pushed it to September now.
That's why I said sometime around August. I'm not exactly sure. I just know it's late in the year.
I don't want that match. We've already had that match.
Oh, I'm sorry. Even later than that.
Times.
Even later than that. Crown Jewel last year was October 11th. So.
Okay. Yeah. Boo.
In-ring segment. Reigns is on his way out. He slaps hands with the Usos on his way out, but then he stops and he turns around. He's like, "Hey, you guys come with me."
Yeah, they were in Gorilla.
They come out, and he said, I was going to keep it simple. I was going to come out, and I was going to be like, I'm the new champ. This is what happened. This is where we're going. He's like, but then I saw my cousins and decided, we got to handle some family business first. He said he misses having their trust and admiration. He misses doing business with them. And he's like, and the way that we're weak. He's like, some rapper from the 90s is talking shit to Jay. Which I had no clue anyone was talking shit to Jay other than...
It was on a podcast.
Oh, other than most of us that fucking watch wrestling.
Yeah, I saw it. Much to do about nothing.
He said, we need to be together and be powerful. We need to be like this. And he closed his fist. And he said,
instead of being 5 fingers, we need to be the fist.
He said, when we're together, we ran the business for 4 years straight. And he's like, I'm not asking you to serve me. I'm asking you to stand with me. And at this point, Jimmy...
And I rolled my eyes.
Jimmy said he speaks for both of them. He says, you are our tribal chief, and everyone else is the twos, and we're the ones. They hold their fingers up to acknowledge Reigns, which at this point, I was so annoyed. There was a part of me was like, because they were both on opposite ends of Reigns. I was really hoping they were both going to super kick the shit out of him.
Oh, no, dude. We're getting the Bloodline 2.0 here. Oh, fuck, it may be 3 or 4.0 at this point.
And then Jacob's music hits, and I was like, thank God. He comes out, and Reigns is like, you're out here for one of two things. He says, I hope you're out here to acknowledge me. And Jacob's like, yeah, that ain't it. And Reigns is like, oh, so you must be here for this then. And Jacob goes, yeah, I want. He says, Reigns says, then it must be because Jacob wants the title. And Jacob goes, I don't want the title. I need the title.
I need the title.
He says, I'm not. He's like, I want to make one thing clear. I'm not here to be tribal chief. He says, I just want everything the tribal chief has. I want the shoes, the houses, the better school for my kids.
The jets.
I want the jets. Jet. He's like, and I'll do anything for my family, even if that means going through you. And he's like, and I want you at Backlash. And Roman was like, hey, you might be able to beat me. He says, but can you hand the burden of the title? But if you also can't beat me, can you handle the burden of having to acknowledge me? He's like, look, I'll give you the rest of the week to think about it, and we'll talk about this again on Raw next week.
Little cousin.
Little cuz. And then on their way out, he was talking to the Usos. He's like, man, y'all need to talk to him.
Yep.
So.
I don't like it at all. I like the matchup. I hate the fucking Samoan Dynasty bullshit we continue to have to go through.
So, first and foremost, I want to talk about Roman.
And how one note he is now?
I obviously do not like Roman as the world champ. But I will say this. If he is going to be on TV week in and week out, and we're not going to get 3 to 4 weeks without him on TV at a time, it's a little more bearable.
He's only going to be doing this. He won't be wrestling.
I don't expect him to wrestle on Monday nights. As long as he shows up to push a story forward, that was always my problem. I don't necessarily need everyone to wrestle every Monday night. They've got way too many people on the roster to have to worry about that. As long as he's defending the title once a month, if it's at a pay-per-view, it's at a pay-per-view. I'm fine with that. But just be there to push a story forward. Don't disappear for a month and a half at a time.
And then let Jay and Jimmy do all the story development stuff for you, which was just them getting beat up by whoever his challenger was next.
Right. Now, at the same time, I sincerely hope he doesn't keep it for long. Now, do I expect Jacob to be the one to take it off of him? Fuck no.
Nah.
Here's the other thing. I do not like the idea of a bloodline thing happening yet again. Unless it's not done in a way that it was done before. And what I mean by that is I don't want it to be this heel stable where the Usos are constantly getting involved in the matches and helping Roman win. If they were to do it to where it's basically just like they're stable, they love each other, and everybody does their own thing, they help each other out, you know, they run a trios match if there's 3 people being absolute dicks or whatever, fine. At that point, I don't mind it. You're just a stable at that point. That's cool. What I don't want, though, is I don't want people constantly interfering for each other, constantly getting in each other's fucking business, because we've run that course. We ran that course for 4 fucking years. 5,
it was a long
honestly.
4 years.
And that's what worries me the most. That's why I'm not like, man, fuck this. They don't need to do it. But I'm definitely on the edge of like, I just hope they do it in a way that's not the exact same way it was before.
The sad thing is, they think that was successful because that's when they had the Fox deal and SmackDown was on normal TV, so a lot of people got it. So they think that's why it was successful, because the storyline was good. No, bro, it was successful because fucking pretty much everybody in the country had it on basic fucking TV.
Right.
So it was obviously going to get more eyeballs because you didn't need cable to get it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, like I said, to see where it goes. Now, look, the moment they start going down the path of it being like, we're interfering to help Roman win and stuff like that, I will be the first to jump ahead and be like, this is stupid. We've done this. This is stupid.
You start screaming in people's faces to acknowledge him and shit, and they're supposed to be this loving family. No.
Also, please, please, please leave Solo and his MFTs on the other show.
Oh, jeez.
Please.
That's who I thought it was going to be at first. When Jacob stuff, when the fire and stuff started going off.
Right.
That's what I thought it was going to be at first.
Well, I'm glad it wasn't, because, oh. Anyways, that's going to do it, guys. Raw next week. Yeah. The only thing we know of for sure, there are two things we know of for sure that is happening. We know we're getting a concert from Joe Hendry.
Yep, we know we're getting another segment with these guys.
And we know we're getting, something between Roman and Jacob. Probably Jacob telling him that, this match is still going to happen. And yeah, we'll see what happens then. Wednesday, obviously, Dynamite is coming up, so we'll have some Dynamite.
Yes.
It feels like it's been a really long time without AEW because they did their shows on back-to-back nights last week.
Well, that and Darby is world champion now, so you just put that in the back of your head.
Right. So we got Dynamite on Wednesday. We got Collision on Saturday. And that's it. Dude, it's so nice to just be back to normal. I'm so glad last week is over.
Yeah. As much as I love professional wrestling, that was a lot of fucking pro wrestling.
Mania week is rough. Even not doing a podcast, the Mania week is rough because it's just watching a lot of wrestling.
Just wait. In a couple months, we'll have to do it for SummerSlam because there are 2 nights.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, with that being said, though, guys, we love y'all. We'll talk to y'all next time. Deuces.
Later.